Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Any Knowscape. As part of our journey to explore the biogas sector from different perspectives, today we are joined by Mr. Tejas Chauhan, project developer SCA at Arciplug. With over a decade of experience in Bio-CNG and waste to energy projects, he had worked extensively in biogas plant operations, upgradings and optimization across a wide range of feedstocks. So, Mr. Tejas, welcome to Any Knowscape today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
To begin with, we would like to know about your journey. You have worked on CNG, bio-CNG projects using a wide range of feedstocks and involved with operations to engineerings to operations. So tell us about your journey and what are the key experiences that have shaped your understanding of the biogas sector?
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting to come in this field because, like we have discussed that I have a decade experience in the industry, but not initially starting with the biogas. Uh, Biogas, I recently started working with 2.5 years ago, and it is very interesting to know how I got on board with the biogas because the renewable energy subject, which is being taught in every engineering college as an elective subject, so it's not compulsory to join that subject. And by renewable energy, no one thinks about that it can be that much bigger in these coming years. While I was studying from 2012 to 2016. So initially, I started my journey with the waste management company, who was dealing with the all kind of waste. It can be chemical hazardous waste, then municipal solid waste, e-waste, plastic waste, and then the same organization I came to know about biogas. Definitely, everyone knows about biogas, but how big scale a biogas can be, that I came to know, and I was privileged to visit the many plants across the India and couple of plants in Europe. So that builds my interest in biogas, that we are doing something for nature because solar we were doing, India was doing a very well in the solar because we have a geographical advantage in solar. But we do have the same advantage in the biogas sector also. So just to compare, in Germany, a small country means even 9 times smaller than the India area-wise, and across almost 70 times smaller than the population of India, having the 10 to 12,000 commercial biogas plants. I'm not saying about small scale biogas plants. It's a huge scale biogas plants, and that quantity is 10 to 12,000. So how much big potential India can we have, that I got to know comparatively, and then I switch myself to the something which I can, a huge career I can spend on this subject. And apart from that, the capacity wise, we can build at least 20,000 plants. So because that much huge potential we have compared to the other countries. And the government of India has targeted only 5,000 plants up to 2030. So there are too much huge work we have to do, and I want to work in this sector. So that's how I changed my career to renewable, and that too in the biogas sector. So that's how I started my journey. Very few, couple of years of experience only, but a huge work to do, yet to do.
Yes, sir. Now, as you are speaking that about current status of biogas industry in India, so
Yeah.
where do you see the biggest opportunities and what are the major challenges that still needs to be addressed in India, in India's scenario? What do you think?
Yes. So this movement towards the biogas and CNG or CBG started almost now 7 to 8 years ago. So 2018-19, the government started the SATAT program, and then subsequently other programs to help the biogas plant. Surprisingly, means when the government has targeted up to 5,000 plant in 2030. As on today, there are only 215 plants up and running in commissioning condition. So less than 5%. So that's a huge gap. And that comes to definitely the challenges. So the challenges starts from getting the feedstocks, right time, right moment, aggregating the feedstock and store for around the year, because we cannot get the agriculture residue around the year. Every day we cannot get. We have the certain harvesting period. So we do the harvest of that feedstock certain time, and we need to store it. We need to properly store it without spoiling the feedstock. Then we have the technology, because we are not having that much mature technology in India. Now we have the European companies coming in the India. They have the huge extensive experience of such commercial plants, and which we are getting benefited. Then we have the issue with the offtake of the gas. We are generating the gas, but who will buy it, and from where you can sell it, and how timely we can uh, sell it. And the fourth pillar, which is the manure, because for example, in any plant, we can generate only 5 to 10 or 15% of the gas from the entire volume of feedstock. Remaining 90% is the manure. It's a huge quantum of manure. So where to sell it? And so that's all challenges now slowly going to have the address by the government of India. Definitely, there are many supports from the government of India, but to reach to the end customers and the reality on the ground is something different. So it is taking shape now. So apart, the challenges starts from the feedstock aggregation, getting the right time of the feedstock, then sealing of the CBG, and handling of the manure. Technologies also. So there is this four major pillars of the CBG plant, and four are struggling up till now. But now it is going in the right direction, right momentum is getting. So slowly we see this plant will be getting multiple times. Means, for example, now we have only 215. So at the end of the year, we have 1,000, and definitely we can achieve our target by 2030.
Okay, as we are discussing about feedstock, so feedstock is often called as the heart of a biogas plant. So,
Yes.
yeah, you are saying many things, but how does feedstock variability affect the plant performance and business economics? We would like to learn about it a bit more. Uh,
Yes.
can you explain this? Mm.
Yeah, definitely you say right that feedstock is the heart of any project, not only for running the project, but the operation expense wise. So the operation expense of any CBG plant, feedstock only contributes highest, which is around 40 to 50% of the total operation cost. So to get the feedstock is the first challenge. To get the feedstock on the right time and the right price is another challenge. So, okay, now feedstock has a different category. So we have the major feedstock like agriculture residue. So the plant which we are planning can be in the radius of vicinity of, let's say, 15 to 20 kilometer only from the agriculture residue. Otherwise, the transportation cost will be huge. So that is the first thing which we need to overcome. If it is the municipal solid waste, then we know we have the huge, okay, now the if you see the number wise, though India is generating almost 1.6 lakh metric ton of municipal solid waste daily, and this is the huge quantum, and we need to address it. And if we address it right away, so it's a huge opportunity to generate the biogas and even the disposing of the municipal solid waste, because we see the huge landfills across the India, and that landfill can be go away with using of municipal solid waste. So municipal solid waste can be another feedstock, but only the right way of doing the source segregation, means the waste to be segregated from home is the another challenge, but it can be definitely addressed. And right now we have the now different movement like Swachh Bharat is also one of the movement who is helping to get the segregated feedstock. We have another feedstock like sugar industry waste, press mud, and spantos and everything. So that feedstock definitely have the challenge, but at the same time, it can be the huge opportunity if we rightly address. So the we can say the feasibility study of the feedstock availability is the first thing any developer should do before selecting any site. Once we select the location, we should know that how much feedstock we should be available and from how long period. And I also believe that no single plant should be designed based on the single feedstock. Today we get the paddy straw, tomorrow we cannot get the feedstock. We can not get the same amount if some bad happens to the atmosphere, monsoon and heavily, and we cannot get. So we should have our plant in the vicinity or radius of the available of another feedstock. So that's what my learning for the feedstock, and definitely the cost, because like I say, the 40-50% of the OPEX goes to the feedstock. So we should be very precisely in buying the feedstock at the cost which is economically good for the plant. So that study of availability as well as the price should be done well before establishing or before selecting the location of the plant.
Understand, sir. Uh, at this point, I would like to ask a question about business of biogas. Suppose someone wants to
Yeah.
understand the biogas industry from the ground up. So, how would you explain the complete value chain from feedstock sourcing to gas production, upgrading, marketing, and revenue generation? And what are the most challenging parts and most profitable parts?
Yeah. So very promising actually. This business is very promising, very lucrative from any investor point of view. And there's definitely the support of the government of India as well as some state governments. So we have a different policy from the states also, which is very lucrative. So I'll answer your last question first. That the most challenging part is the fish stock, which we are discussing from quite a few minutes. And most profitable is the selling of gas because that is the greatest revenue which we are getting from any this plant. So this plant, we need one raw material which is feedstock, and we have two output saleable part. First is the gas, which is definitely after purification, so it is Bio-CNG or CBG. Second revenue is from the fertilizer selling or organic manure selling. So if someone wanted to enter in this business and to understand this basic part, where to start and how to start this business. So like this is profitable, definitely profitable business. If it is running properly, then it's 100% profitable business due to the government support and the current CBG selling price and everything. So it is profitable business. Once we need, first we should already discuss that we need to finalize the feedstock, which feedstock we are going to use, the location. These two things, if we finalize, then we need to take the LOI, letter of intent, from the oil marketing company, which is we call OMCs. It can be HPCL, IOCL, GAIL. There are multiple companies. So we need to uh, give our application to them that we have finalized this location where we are about to generate this much of tons of gas. It can be 5 ton, 10 ton, 15 ton per day. CBG we are going to generate. And they have so all the formats which we have to fill and give to them. So where we ensure that whatever the gas we will generate will be offtake by the OMC. So we can sell the gas. Also, this is a very good opportunity that government has mandated this OMC company to blend at least 1 to 2% of Bio-CNG or CBG in their CNG selling. So they are mandated to offtake. Now it is 1 or 2%, and then gradually it will increase to 5% at the end of year 2028-29. So definitely that mandate they have to follow, and we have to also sell the gas. So developer has to first ensure the feedstock. After ensuring the feedstock, they have to ensure the selling. That yes, the OMC company will offtake the gas. Now the hardest part comes. We get the feedstock, we generate the gas has been sold. We have now the huge quantum of fertilizer every day which is coming from the plant, which is in terms of mass balance, it is 9 to 10 times the gas we generate. It's a huge quantum. It is solid. It's easy to transport any gaseous form. We can have the balloons, we can have the cascade, we can store it and we can supply it. But huge quantum of solid which is being generated daily, solid and liquid from fertilizer which is getting generated. So very few states in India now have this knowledge of organic manure, that they have the organic manure, and selling of this organic manure sometimes it is easy in the few states, but some farmers are still reluctant to take care of this manure because it's coming from the plant. and they have some misconception that it can contain some harmful chemicals and my crop will destroy. And they have the huge, because they are 100% dependent on their money, which is coming from selling of their crop. So they are reluctant to take a risk of using this manure. But slowly, organic manure and fertilizer market is also developing. Right now, still a huge struggling part, but it is developing. So if someone now build a plant, is selling it for sometimes free, then just take it, because it is daily generated and cannot be stored for a longer period. How much big land you can utilize? So also government is also looking for some option that where they can mandate some chemical fertilizer company to land it, and that definitely will change the whole picture. Because India being the country who is having majorly dependent on the agronomy and agriculture crops, so we are having the huge demand of fertilizer, and we know that fertilizer price is also increasing because chemical fertilizer are not available readily now. So to mat the gap, means not having the chemical fertilizer available from the international market like China and everyone who are controlling this market, when we have this blend of this organic manure, so it can be both way benefited to the farmers also, because we our soil is now depleting from the organic carbon. So if you see the report, we have a huge deficiency of organic carbon in our soil. So we can get that organic carbon from the organic manure. We can also reduce the import of chemical fertilizer. So this plant is everything is giving to the nature. It's nothing taking anything from the nature. So we have this source of organic manure. But okay, now it is challenging, but at the same time, I can say the opportunity. If you, for example, find if you search the organic fertilizer on Amazon or something, so you can get it 35 rupees per kg. It's a huge money. So once it is branded, once it is enriched, and when it is marketed well, the organic manure income can itself be larger than the CNG income, the gas income. So this is the opportunity what we get. So to say the project developer, a project developer should focus on these four pillars of this CBG plant. First is the feedstock availability near to the plant. Price should be economical viable for the plant. I cannot say the price because it depends upon the different feedstock, and different feedstock has a different potential of gas generation. So it should be financially viable feedstock. CNG or CBG sale should be guaranteed by the OMC. Third important parameter is we have the good market for the manure selling. So manure offtake should be there. These three pillars are one of the major, but how our plants are failing after getting all three is the four major pillars, which is technology. So right now, everyone is just understanding that India is doing the gobar gas from a century old. We have started the gobar gas for a century old. It is good if you just want to dispose the waste, but if you want to monetize, if you want to say the good efficient plant where we can extract the maximum amount of gas from particular agriculture residue or any feedstock, we need a good technology. So that's how our plants are now failing. But these are the four major pillars any project developer should look after before starting the project.
Okay. You have mentioned about this SATAT initiative launched by our government of India. So, beyond the policy, what changes in financing, technology adoption, supply chains, or stakeholder collaboration would help build a stronger and more sustainable biogas industry in India?
So I see that government has not stopped by making just policy. We are really privileged to have the support from government as and when required. So they just start with the SATAT, but they not ends up there. They find something that after getting the SATAT, they need to lock the prices of CBG sale. So they roll out the new policy where they lock the CBG sale price. They found that the developers are facing the challenges in fertilizer. So they start with the policy of subsidy of giving the subsidy for organic manure. When they found the challenge that there are huge machinery involved in biomass aggregation, so they generate the new policy to buy that machineries. So government is helping each and every phase to support the developer. Only red flag in this industry now is that the developer is understanding that we are getting this whole subsidy, so let's just build the plant. We will get this all the subsidy, and if the plant not runs, so that's not a problem, but we get the subsidies. So now the focus is shifting that okay, first prime support, government funds to a developer first understanding was that we'll get the good revenues and everything, but subsidies also been something which is very attractive. So now, okay, definitely the government has also identified this gap, and they have discontinued the last subsidy, which was the capex subsidy. So any developer was getting around up till maximum 10 crore per plant for the subsidy. But now government has just hold that subsidy and now rethinking to reframe something which can be ultimately benefited. Apart from stakeholders, so now there are every month some conferences going on, every month some exhibitions are going on this sector. So whole the stakeholders are getting together to build something. So there is, I can see that from a 1 year there is a good change in coming this industry, because okay, now we have discussed that 5,000 is the goal and 215 is the only commissioning plant. Are these 215 commissioning plants running on 100% efficiency or 100% plant capacity? That is also no. All the plants are struggling. To 215 plants, merely I can say 10 to 15 plants are running efficiently or on the plant capacity. All other plants are struggling. So what fails? It fails the technology, because we very well know the mentality of our Indian companies and persons that we want to buy cheap per thing. We don't want to, we don't want to go something which is ever giving the value addition for a longer period. For example, if we take a car, so if you take a car, so we expect that it should run for 5 10 years without any problem with the same mileage and efficiency, the same thing. So we invest in that car with the longer period of thing. But if we go for something that okay, we are getting the car at 50% cheaper rate, but what happens? Will it give the same mileage year on year? Will it run for the same mileage? So no one is looking after it. Sadly, that was the reason that persons has adopted and just understand that this is a gobar gas plant. We just make a huge tank, we move the mixers and it will run. But no, plant are not running based on purely on this concrete and the tanks and everything. It is the strong biology. It's the zillions of bacteria we are feeding every day. So think about a situation, for example, if a vegetarian person immediately switch to the non-vegetarian next day, definitely 100% the stomach will give the answer that it will not be the stable stomach. So it has to be adapted. So that how we feels that we understood the it will be the gobar gas, it will be the same, but no, it is the mimic of this cow dung stomach. So generally, when the person understand the biogas, it understood that it is the four process of biogas generation, which is similar to the stomach of cow. So it's a mimic of cow. We want to maintain all the four different zones and parameters as per the cow stomach, and then it will succeed. So nowadays, the huge gap is the only the available good technologies which can fulfill the guaranteed parameters of the gas generation and can treat the feedstock. That's the only lacking thing. But now gradually it is also changing. So we'll see couple of plants giving the success, plant efficiency and plant capacity throughout the year. I'm not saying for particular time period any plant can success. For 10 days, 15 days, any plant, because we are feeding the bacteria, it can generate the gas. When we increase the feeding, the gas generation will also increase. But at the same time, the bacteria will thrive. For example, at the same time, they will need a huge food, acid will generate, and the plant can collapse. So we need the plant which cannot generate the good amount of gas for certain days. It should generate the consistent gas amount and for throughout the year. So that is nowadays, even the project developer are thinking, for example, now they are not only asking the capex, they are understanding that what kind of opex will include, how the plant will be reliable, how efficient plant will be. So this questions has been now changing. When initially it was start only capex, your parts, how much is the plant cost? Now they are asking more questions, looking to the failure story of the plants. So yes, it's a positive change going on. Everyone in the stakeholder in the industry now changing their question list to the stakeholders. So a good thing happening. Yes.
Yes, okay. As we are discussing about technologies and growth of biogas plants, so now the biogas sector is evolving rapidly with new technologies and the digital tools. So, according to you, which innovations do you think will have the biggest impact on plant efficiency, methane recovery, automation, and overall project sustainability over the next decade?
Yeah. So definitely, for any plant operations and optimization, if we can work on something where we can reduce the operation cost or where we can reduce the capital expenditure, definitely it will be help to industry. The upcoming trend and topic will be how we further optimize. For example, we have all know that this feedstock can give this much amount of gas, but how we further optimize the process to increase the that yield from that particular feedstock. So we can say the efficiency. For example, on 100 ton, we are getting 10 ton of CBG. Can we increase to 10, 12, 12 ton or 13 ton using the same amount of feedstock? So that research is going on how to optimize further the process to get increase the, for example, the yield from the methane yield, particularly from the feedstock. That is one thing. And second thing, which we have not discussed also earlier, that this plant have the another which is generation of this is CO2 generation. So biogas is the composition of methane and CO2, carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide still it is not monetized. So for example, after getting generation of the biogas, it goes to the purification plant where this methane has been recovered separately and CO2 has been released to the atmosphere now. Once we can utilize this CO2, which is still in the research topic, that how we can monetize this CO2 in a better way, and it will be the biogenic CO2. It will be not any fossil fuel CO2. It will be biogenic CO2. So that can be also one of the upcoming trends and topic coming, where we can also monetize that product from the plant and can get benefited. So that is one thing. Right now, the major work which is going on is after generating the biogas. So technology which we have discussed, now we are generating the biogas and the purification. So whatever the purification technologies are available here are not 100% efficient. For example, some part of the methane has been lost with the CO2. So now it is a trending topic how we can recover or how we can have the maximum recover methane from the purification and minimum loss to the atmosphere. So that is something which is now rapidly growing. That coming subject, that innovation will definitely help. That we can also get CO2 monetized. We lost minimum percentage of the methane to the atmosphere or CO2. And that is definitely the innovation which we require now.
What is your viewpoint about membrane technologies? Is it necessary for these biogas plants for
Yes.
adapt with these new membrane technologies to get more yield, more revenues?
100%. So, for example, whatever the comparative research papers available and from the industry talks, so membrane has a 100% better advantage than the other technologies. So it's very simple to operation. Just we pass through the biogas through the membrane and using the permeability index, we get methane separate and the other gases separate. So it's very simple operation. It's nothing very complicated or nothing. Only thing which is now bothering to the industry about membrane is first is the capex. So right now, whatever the leading membrane suppliers are all are coming from outside India. There is no one which is in India. But definitely there are India, but still in under developing phase or need to be proven in the commercial scale of the biogas. So the proven membranes which is coming is out from the outside India, which is capex intensive, very high, huge cost actually, at least, which is bothering. Definitely, membrane is very good, but second uh, issue or second worrying thing for the investor about membrane is what happens if the membrane fails. For example, the upstream system supplying the gas which is not in the limit of the membrane tolerance, and if that membrane got chalk or clog, or we can say the damage to the membrane, the replacement cost of the membrane is very huge. So these two things, which is now bothering, but I personally also feel that this membrane can be very helpful because it also very easy to operate, less space required, and but definitely the highest methane recovery can also give by the membrane system than the other available systems. So I personally like the membrane system. We'll also see how it evolves, the different Indian companies with the good membranes, cost-effective membranes, and can supply with the highest methane recovery.
Okay, sir. Now, I would like to ask you a question about project economics. See, many people are interested in Bio-CNG as a business opportunity. So, from your experience, what should
Yes.
entrepreneurs and investors understand about project economics, capital investment, operating cost, revenue streams, risks, and return on investment before entering the biogas sector?
Yeah, so from Excel sheet calculations, it looks very lucrative. Sometimes we I've seen that return on investment is less than 2 years. So there are nothing such plants, for example, no other industry can give so much high return on investment. But it all looks good on Excel sheet. It should be look good on the ground field also. So if some investor coming in this field and taking care of these things which we have discussed, like a feedstock arrangement at the right place, right price, CBG selling constantly, manure offtake constantly, and having some revenue from the manure, and good technology, not focusing on just the cheap technology which is not working, then I must say that the economics are very good. Just can give the some thumb rules of prices. So the thumb rule industry rates which is going on now, it's around 4 to 6 crore rupees per ton of the CBG plant. So if someone want to build 5 ton per day CBG plant, it can be range from 20 crore to 30 crore. Now it depends everything about the how we are designing, what feedstock we are designing, what kind of purification technology we are taking, what kind of land area we are taking. So that's all depends upon the capex is highly variable, depends upon the number of factors, but it can be in the range of this 20 crore to 30 crore. It can be less or it can be slightly higher on this for a typical 5 ton per day CBG plant. If we talk about the OPEX, so like we say that for 30, 40 to 50% of the OPEX goes to the feedstock. Remaining, we have the power, we have the heating system, remaining, we have the manpower, everything, repair and maintenance. So that's all. On an average, if it is properly managed, very well articulately managed, it can generate the margin up to 30-40%. It's a huge margin business. But like I say, it looks attractive on the Excel, but if we manage everything based on that, so we can get a huge return on investment. Sometimes with the subsidies and the government scheme, it can be less than 2 years, the return on investment. So this is how it is very lucrative business.
So gradually we are reaching the end of today's conversation, but
Yes.
before wrapping it up, any advice for entrepreneurs, researchers, or policymakers for who want to build a stronger and a more sustainable biogas ecosystem? And also, where do you see this biogas sector in next 10 years?
Yeah. Very interesting question. And one question, we have four questions now. So what is the advice to the project developer, a researcher, policymakers is the first question, and the next question is the 10 years. So we'll start with this next 10 year, how I look the CBG industry. Like I say, it's very promising, a very highly rapid growth industry, because when we are in the 2026, we are expecting 5,000 plant in 2030. So 2030 by 5,000 plants. So we are only 5%. So 95% plants we need to build. So it's a huge gap. 4,800 plants need to be built in 5 years. And like I say, when we start this session, that we are 17 times smaller than the Germany, and Germany has 10,000 plants. So looking to our population, looking to our area of which we hold, looking to the agricultural residue we have. So it has the potential of 20 and 20,000 plus plants. It's commercial plant, 20,000 plants. So in 10 years, this industry will be booming very high. And like many financial institutes has ranked that year on year increase of this industry growth will be very high compared to the any other industry. And the market size is couple of billion euros or USD, what we can say. It's this is the market size. So 10 years down the time, and looking to the demand of India, which is year on year increasing, the CNG demand, which we can say. And now we are importing more than 50% of our fossil CNG from outside. So definitely the demand of CNG will increase. So demand of these plants will increase, because we need our own CNG. We have the agriculture residues which we are burning, so we need the solution of it. So we are solving it by using this all the agriculture residue in this plant. So this is also we are solving. So this we also increase. Also, we know that now there is the demand of organic food, because whenever we go to the market, we have the premium product which called is organic. Whether it is organic shampoos, organic anything, it all the products now are coming in the organic, and which have the premium price. So I see that in some moments that vegetables and fruits, organic vegetable and fruits demand will increase enormously, and the farmers will be, their hand will be tight that they have to use the organic fertilizer only, because the price will be better. So gradually, this whole change will lead to the huge growth of this industry down the 10 years, a decade year plan. That is definitely. So I see that a good thing is coming, and coming years will be very excited for this industry, for the farmers also, because earlier the farmers have no option rather than just burning this paddy straw. But now they are getting some revenue. So benefited. Now our soils are depleting the soil when we have the organic manure from this plant. So our soil will be having the organic carbon, and our ultimately it will be good health for the soil, and ultimately good health for the farmers. So revenue stream for the farmers. So down the years are exciting, green years are coming, where we utilize our waste, will generate the gas, will generate the fertilizer, organic fertilizer or manure, we can say. Coming to the advice to the developer, I must say, like, we should not focus on the Excel sheets. We should see the ground reality of the running plants. We should not focus on the cheapest thing, because it cannot work. And when, for example, just an example, that if one plant having 1 ton capacity plant, let's say 1 ton capacity CBG generation plant, and is more revenue is coming from the CBG. So an example that 70 to 80,000 rupees per ton we are selling. And if one day, due to any of these cheapest technology of cheapest equipment, it is not working, we are losing daily 70 to 80,000 rupees, because we are not selling, because our equipment is not working. So think about the situation that if it is not running for 10, 15 days, or let's say 1 month or a year, a huge amount of money which we have invested but not getting any revenue. So rather than focusing on the cheap plant, focus on the reliable plant where we can get 365 days gas and can sell. So that is the one advice to the project developer. To the researcher, definitely how we can further optimize the process, can get more yield from the same feedstock, can also monetize the CO2. This is the two topic which is now very interesting for the researchers to do the research and do the some good innovations where we can benefit the whole industry. To the policymakers, I must say that they are doing an excellent job by now. even okay, now understanding and taking the feedback from the all the stakeholders from the industry and doing the policies changes which is benefited to industry. But one thing which I must say, that the pain full point and pain area of any industry is now the organic manure offtake. So if there is some arrangement and something which is comes up apart from the subsidy, that this offtake can be done by the chemical fertilizer company and can be blended or any kind of thing, so that will be 100% change this industry, because nowadays the huge struggling is only also on the manure selling part. So that what I want to say and conclude, that very promising green years are coming from India, for India, and that will change whole nature, because we will less use the fossil fuel. It will also economically helpful for our whole country, because the huge amount of money we are paying to the other countries to buy this gas from other countries. We know that the war situation has disrupted our whole fossil fuel chain. So we want to be the energy independent. We should have the energy security, so that all aspects are positive for this industry. When we this industry will grow, it will benefit it to all the stakeholders, whether it is farmers, will also get the organic fruits or vegetables. So all the individual can be also benefited from this. So I must say that this is something which is look taking to the Viksit Bharat. So well, we have the develop India with using our waste management solutions. So we will have 100% waste to be utilized. We have the green gas, we have the green fertilizer, everything. So that's what I want to say. And thank you so much for any member and any no space to create such awareness program, where we can the industry people can discuss with the persons who want to understand biogas, who want to understand the renewable energy. Thank you so much to you for organizing such a wonderful platform.
Thank you so much, sir. It was pleasure speaking with you, and we sincerely appreciate you for taking the time to be with us today. And we wish you continued success in all your future endeavors. So thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to you and to your team. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. And that brings us to the end of today's conversation, our Any Knowscape podcast episode. We really hope you enjoyed this conversation, and we will be back soon with another episode featuring a new guest from biogas sector. And thank you for watching. Take care.